Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel! When you look up at the sky, what do you see? Fluffy white shapes drifting lazily by. Maybe a dark, moody blanket foretelling a storm. We see clouds almost every day, but how much do we really know about them? They're so common, we often take them for granted, but trust me, these floating masses of water vapor are hiding some seriously cool secrets. Today, we're going to dive into the world above our heads and uncover 3 fascinating things you probably do I know about clouds. Get ready to have your mind blown, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at a cloudy day the same way again. First up, did you know that clouds have weight? And I mean, a lot of weight. It's easy to think of them as light and airy, like cotton balls, right? But that couldn't be further from the truth. Clouds are made of tiny water droplets or ice crystals, and while each one is incredibly small, there are billions and billions of them packed together. Scientists have actually figured out how to estimate the weight of a cloud. They start by measuring the cloud's density, how much water is in a given space. For a typical, puffy, white cumulus cloud, that density is about half a gram of water per cubic meter. That doesn't sound like much, but then you have to consider the sheer size of these things. A standard cumulus cloud can easily be a kilometer long, a kilometer wide, and a kilometer tall. That's 1 cubic kilometer of volume. Now, for a little bit of math. Don't worry, it's easy. If you do the calculation, a cloud of that size contains about 500 million grams of water. Converting that to a more familiar unit, that's 500,000 kilograms, or, to put it another way, about 1.1 million pounds. Yes, you heard me right. The average, friendly-looking, cumulus cloud floating over your head weighs over 1 million pounds. That's the equivalent of about 100 elephants. So, how on earth does something that heavy stay up in the sky? It's a great question. The magic is in the distribution. That massive weight is spread out over a huge area, and the individual water droplets are so tiny and light that even weak updrafts of warm air rising from the ground are strong enough to keep them suspended. It's a delicate balancing act between gravity pulling them down and rising air pushing them up. So next time you see a fluffy cloud, remember you're looking at hundreds of tons of water just floating there. Pretty amazing, right? Alright, moving on to our second mind-bending fact. Have you ever heard of a place where it rains, but the rain never actually hits the ground? It sounds like something out of a fantasy novel, but it's a real and fascinating weather phenomenon called vertigo. Virga is essentially rain or ice crystals that fall from a cloud but evaporate or sublimate back into vapor before they can reach the surface. You can often see it as wispy tail-like streaks hanging underneath a cloud, looking like a ghostly curtain of rain that just stops in midair. It's a beautiful, almost ethereal sight. This happens most often in dry, arid environments, like deserts. The air between the cloud and the ground is so dry and warm that it literally sucks the moisture out of the falling rain. The raindrops start their journey down, but as they fall through this layer of unsaturated air, they evaporate, turning back into invisible water vapor. So you can be standing directly under what looks like a rain shower, see it falling towards you, and not feel a single drop. Virga isn't just a cool visual, though it can have some significant effects on the weather. As the water evaporates, it cools the air around it. This pocket of cold, dense air then starts to sink rapidly, creating something called a microbursts are powerful, localized downdrafts that can cause sudden, strong, and dangerous winds to spread out on the ground. They are a serious concern for aviation, as pilots need to be aware of this potential for extreme wind shear. It's a powerful reminder that what happens in the atmosphere, even something as delicate looking as Virga, can have very real and powerful consequences down here on Earth. So, if you're ever in a dry region and see those telltale streaks hanging from a cloud, you'll know what you're looking at. The ghost of a rain shower. Ready for our third and final secret? Let's talk about the artists of the sky. Clouds aren't just shapeless blobs. They can form some of the most stunning and rare patterns imaginable. Beyond the cumulus, stratus, and cirrus clouds we learned about in school, there's a whole world of spectacular and unusual cloud formations. One of the most sought after by photographers and skywatchers is the lenticular cloud. These are smooth, lens-shaped clouds that often form over mountains or large hills. They look uncannily like flying saucers, and in fact, they are one of the most common explanations for UFO sightings. They form when stable, moist air flows over a mountain, creating a series of standing waves on the downwind side. As the air rises and cools within these waves, the moisture condenses to form these beautifully sculpted, stationary clouds. They seem to just hang there, motionless, even when the wind is howling. But that's not all. Have you ever seen a rainbow in a cloud? It's not a true rainbow, but a phenomenon called cloud iridescence. This happens when sunlight is diffracted by the tiny, uniform-sized water droplets or ice crystals on the edge of a cloud. The result is a stunning display of pastel, mother-of-pearl colors shimmering on the cloud's surface. It's like an oil slick in the sky. Then there are asperitas clouds, which are one of the newest officially recognized cloud types. They look like the surface of a stormy sea viewed from below, with dramatic, rolling, wave-like structures. They look incredibly turbulent and menacing, but they usually dissipate without ever forming a storm. And what about noctilucent clouds? These are the highest clouds in our atmosphere, floating on the very edge of space, about 50 miles up. They are made of tiny ice crystals and are so high that they can still catch the sunlight long after the sun has set on the ground, glowing with a brilliant, electric blue light in the twilight sky. These are just a few examples of the incredible artistry happening above our heads every single day. So there you have it. 3 things you might not have known about clouds. They are incredibly heavy, weighing as much as a herd of elephants. They can produce phantom rain that never reaches the ground, and they are capable of forming some of the most breathtaking and otherworldly arts in the natural world. Clouds are so much more than just indicators of the weather. They are a dynamic, powerful, and beautiful part of our planet's complex system. They play a crucial role in regulating Earth's temperature, reflecting sunlight back into space and trapping heat from below. They are the engine of the water cycle, transporting water across vast distances. The next time you find yourself with a moment to spare, just look up. Pay attention to the shapes, the textures, and the movements. Appreciate the sheer weight of what's floating above you. Look for those strange and beautiful formations. And remember that there's a whole world of wonder happening in the sky. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the clouds. I hope you learned something new and feel a little more connected to the sky above. If you enjoyed this video and want to explore more wonders of our world, please give it a thumbs up and forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you won't miss our next adventure. What's the coolest cloud you've ever seen? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay curious.